right, so we are looking at what could potentially become Tropical Storm Alex. This is probably one of our best shots we've seen in a couple weeks. I know we've been talking about this for quite some time. So, without wasting any more time, we're just going to get right into the particulars, and I'll show you what the chances of this actually becoming. This is Invest 91L. Let's take a look and see if this will become our first name Atlantic Tropical Season Storm. Alright, so yeah, this could become Alex here. This is an interesting area of low pressure, what's left over from what's left of Agatha at this point. Thursday into Friday, this is going to head up between the Yucatan Peninsula and Cuba. If it is more of the Euro, it's going to be further to the northwest and won't make it to Florida quite as quickly. At this point, I think it has a pretty good chance, but like I said, that's why I still have Central Florida here into the range as well, because if the Euro is more correct here, we might be looking at slightly slower solution here, which would bend it more towards the north and the west here. And then Sunday off the Florida coastline, and this could, meander for days here off the southeast U.S. coast. Now, this little area I'm going to talk about as well, it's an upper level low that's kind of stalled. And at this point, I don't think it has any good chance of development because it's rather disorganized. However, if it were to develop into anything, it could affect the track of what could potentially become Alex here. Let's take a look at the models. All right, so for the tropics, I wanted to show you a brief snapshot of this. Yeah, here is Invest 91L. This is on the bigger picture. And you're starting to see what's going to be the high pressure that's going to be forming here. This is actually going to move in tandem here with Invest 91L. Could become Alex by this point. So there's the high. There's Invest 91L. This is Saturday, June 4th. So we put this into motion. Take a look what the GFS does with the high pressure system. Right along the same longitude here. So let's get that out of the way. You got high pressure here to the north. This is going to allow Invest 91L or Alex, whatever it is by this point, Sunday, June 5th, to slide to the northeast. This is going to be a blocking high. So for those of you that may think there might be a possibility this might make a run for the East Coast, probably not, especially with this blocking high and the positioning of it. You see how it moves to the northeast here? There's the high, and here's Invest 91L. Now, if this storm can stall out and go nowhere for a while, it might have a chance, because look at, there's another trough. At this point, it doesn't look like it, but if a trough enough were to bring, come down like this, it might have a chance to pick it up. So if we take a look at the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico here, this is the GFS, what it's showing here Thursday, kind of closing off the low a bit. So will we see this named storm? Will this become Alex? Well, there's a pretty good shot, at least at a depression, probably a tropical storm. We'll see if anything, this might become, I don't think it'll become a hurricane at this point, but you know what, stranger things have happened, this early in the season, but we'll have to see. Definitely looking at the potential here for Alex. At times the low kind of like disappears here. You still have it, but at this point, we'll see. All right, so let's take a look at the Euro as we put this into motion. I want to show you here Thursday. Let's take a look here. So the Euro is holding the low back farther here. It's probably because, the high pressure here to the east is a little bit more stronger. You'll see it slowly appear on the right-hand corner of your screen here. But look at this. As this continues to move towards the northeast, it's hanging the low a little bit back here. Saturday, the GFS has the low in South Florida. But look at Saturday. It's literally almost 250, 300 miles westward here over the southern Gulf. So, that in mind, it's pretty much trying to keep this high-pressure system more entrenched, kind of blocking, which is actually an interesting scenario if this were, because this would force Invest 91, or maybe at this point Alex, a little bit further to the north and west, which may actually help possibly strengthen it a little bit more. But let's put this into motion. Yeah, look at that. The Euro takes it up towards Central Florida. So this is an interesting solution. I'm not throwing this to the dogs just yet. We definitely want to keep an eye on this, because this is definitely a contender on the table, especially since the Euro has been pretty consistent as of late. All right, so if we take a look at the infrared satellite picture, look how clear it is here across the Gulf. But here is Invest 91L. This is interesting. It is a lopsided system. Most of the showers and thunderstorms are on the eastern and southeastern side of the system. We do have some showers and thunderstorms here trying to pinwheel towards the east here as well. There will be some wind shear. You see some of these cloud tops getting sheared off. There is some light wind shear that this system may have to go through in time here. All right, so also here we go. We got some dry air here across the northern Gulf. This is the great and glorious water vapor loop here. Take a look at this. There is pretty moist atmosphere here. There you can see some of the cloud tops, the cirrus clouds being sheared off here across the top here. You can see this upper level low as well, kind of getting sheared at this point. So this system may have to go through shear once it gets up this direction, but I do think in time that'll slowly lift here to the northeast. All right, and thanks always to Tropical Tidbits here. Take a look at the model plots here. This is pretty much what we're looking at here. This is probably my path right down the center of the envelope here. Take a look at this. Basically what you have, South Florida, maybe even Central Florida here under the crosshairs. And look at this, as we take this as well, Invest 91, pretty similar track here on this plot solution. So yeah, we're pretty much looking at, Florida pretty much in the crosshairs here. Those of you along the East Coast are going to want to watch this as well. All right, so look at this. Look at this big old area of very, very warm sea surface temperatures. This is crazy. And we also have where Invest 91 is going here. We also have some sea surface temperatures that are above average from pretty much the Yucatan up to the Keys. Well, it's a little cooler than average here because of the stirred up, but you get the picture here. From the western tip of Cuba to South Florida, it's looking above average. All right, essentially what we're looking at here. So if we take a look at the tropics, it is a pretty interesting, we have this high pressure that's really retreated to the east here. So what does this allow? Well, we have this trough that's just washing out across eastern North America. And here is what's left of the remnant of Agatha. So here we go. Let's put this into motion. Yeah, the GFS is grabbing a hold of this pretty good, bringing it towards South Florida. There's this high pressure system to the north that's building in. And you have this upper level low. It does have a chance to develop, but I really don't think it's going to be that much of a big deal at this point. So as we continue in motion, this system is going to be allowed to pretty much slide here to the northeast because you got this high pressure system and it's going to help steer this to the northeast. Now, South Florida, you could be in the crosshairs of this come Sunday. It depends on how strong this gets, and it kind of just stalls out here for a time and becomes kind of like a open low here. There's another low trying to form here on the backside of this high pressure system. We continue to move throughout next week. High pressure is going to build further to the west here. Look at that, showing another potential tropical system here in the Eastern Pacific. But what about the Atlantic here? We'll see if Alex can develop out of this. All right, so let's take a look here. We have the highs and the lows of the heights here. So this is going to give us a good idea. Well, let's start off with the steering of Alex here. This is a big old troughiness here across the east. It's a shallow trough, though. You see this light blue? Most of the country is in it. There's some shallowness out here out west. This is a bigger trough, obviously. This is a bigger trough, and this is a big old trough. And the ridge is way up here towards Greenland. So when we take a look at this, we put this into motion. This ultimately means storminess here across the lower 48. Ultimately what we're looking at here. And this will probably, since this is mostly, troughiness, this will slowly steer what is Invest 91L, could become Alex, towards the northeast here. So as we head in time throughout Saturday, let's kick this into motion into Sunday. Yeah, you see a common theme here. And, this opens the door for June. Because essentially, are we going to be looking at a June that's just miserable here across the north? Well, yeah, it's going to be a rocky start. We start to see some ridginess here, if that's even a word here across the south. You get what I'm saying here. And look at this, a big old ridge developing out west. You know what that always leads to back east. Yeah. So let's put this into motion next week, Wednesday, June 8th. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, look at it. So we have the development of another trough here across the northern plains. It's kind of ridging here across the southeast. So by this point, whatever's left of Invest 91L will be meandering somewhere out here, maybe slipping to the northeast. We'll see in time. But as we continue to put this into motion throughout June, look at this. Yeah. That's a big old yuck. Ridge up here, big old trough in the east. That's really not what you want to see. All right, heading on into Thursday here for your severe weather outlook. That is going to shift here to the mid-Atlantic. So if you're in Eastern Virginia, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, Atlantic City, Norfolk, these are the areas that you're going to see some strong to severe thunderstorms. Is there a tornado threat? You betcha. Right around Dover, Delaware, down to Baltimore and D.C. There's about a 2% chance. Hail and wind is pretty high, running high as well. Wind especially as we head into Friday. That sinks to the south. Thankfully, it's not as strong. And then we have another area redeveloping back towards the panhandle of Texas and into northeastern New Mexico here. All right, so as we head across the lower 48 here, we continue in time. And we have that front that's pretty much going to be sinking to the south here on Thursday and into Friday. And it's kind of slowly going to stall and wash out here. So in time, you get the picture. High pressure continues to build. This is a cold high, especially for this time of year. It's sliding just to the north. This is going to keep Invest 91L, if it's Alex by this point, on a trajectory towards the northeast, because this high is going to pretty much block it here to the north, so to speak. And as we continue in time, that high pressure moves right along the same longitude, which keeps this low moving towards the northeast, so to speak. So as we head in time there it is. Yeah, you're going to have another big old yuck here, and some of these could be severe, as well as out in here in the plains. So this pattern is about to get a whole lot more diesel-y here, so to speak. If you want to use the term open for business, definitely. But there it is. Showers and thunderstorms, the plains, and into the northeast again for your Tuesday. So we're looking at a stormy week here, especially in the northeast next week, with a couple rounds of showers and thunderstorms. And look at this. This is a big old broken record up here. Damaging wind, large hail, tornado complexes, the Dakotas, Minnesota, and in Missouri again. All right, so if we take a look at the rest of the evening and night into the northeast, heading into Wednesday night, Thursday morning, there will still be clusters of these showers and thunderstorms around. They'll finally be coming below severe levels. They could contain strong winds, but the big heavy rain producers will still be there. Look at this. We're still dealing with some of these cells, through about 3, 4, 5 a.m. here. So this front's still going to be hung up here across the northeast. There is that low pressure system here across the northern Adirondacks. And as we continue to go through the future radar here, essentially, we start off our Thursday pretty benign here. We have some showers in northeast Pennsylvania. That'll keep the daytime heating at a minimal. So looks like a lot of the more showers and thunderstorms, the stronger ones, will be to the south of that, south of Interstate 80 in Pennsylvania. But it's this area here that we're going to watch in time on Thursday that could become the area for damaging wind, large hail. Let's back that up a frame. So yeah, you have basically from northern New Jersey down to southeastern Pennsylvania. This is right around 2, 3, 4 p.m. here. So as we continue in time, there's the problem. This becomes a linear problem here, and this is where things could become pretty severe, damaging wind, large hail, that isolated tornado threat, and that continues to slip to the south there. And on Friday, there it is. We see another burst. We have kind of an upper level low here, but this will be short-lived. This is the early morning hours. That pretty much kicks to the northeast, and look at that. You have some instability. You have some cold pool of air here to the north in northern New England and the Great Lakes. And we could have some of these cells, see that, develop in some of the unstable air. So it's going to be interesting, but look at that. For most of upstate New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, stays pretty dry into Friday night and into Saturday. So total precipitation amounts, if you look from Wednesday night into Thursday, Friday, yeah, we could have some heavier downpours here. A lot of this was occurring Wednesday evening up here in the parts of the northeast. So, yeah, this is interesting. We'll continue to watch for showers and thunderstorms, especially down into the mid-Atlantic here. We'll have some gully washers. And my extended outlook, hometown viewers, upper Susquehanna, River Valley, Binghamton to Scranton, Thursday through Monday. Take a look at this. Showers and thunderstorms potential into Thursday. It's more like Thursday evening, Thursday night, we'll get upwards of the 10th to quarter inch. It will be cooler, 75 degrees, cooling down to 70 with that cold front blasting through, maybe a 1/10 of an inch or less before mainly 10 a.m. with a stray shower possible, but turning windy, upwards of 25, 30 mile per hour wind gusts from the northwest. It's going to feel much cooler into Saturday. Look at that. 45 degrees for a low. That's great sleeping weather. It will be brisk. It will feel more like fall-like, windy and cool. Sunny into Sunday as well, warming up to the mid-70s as Monday. A chance of showers up towards 78. And as always, thank you for joining me for this edition of Weather Eastern Meteor Mark on Facebook, also Weather Northeastern. Also, you can visit me at Hurricane Northeastern. And if you're into local weather in my hometowns from Binghamton to Scranton, Upper Susquehanna River Valley, like me on Facebook at Susquehanna Weather. Also, you can visit me at meteormark.com, weathernortheastern.com, and Twitter at Weather Eastern. If you haven't watched my full 2022 hurricane outlook, the link is in the description down below. Like, share, subscribe, comment or question down below. I love to read your questions or comments. Let's get the weather conversation rolling. Thanks for joining me.